All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So, I'm going to run through the rest of the semester for you and this week to let you know exactly what's going on, what to expect, so there's no confusion. You can click through the website while having my voice behind you if that helps you. If you go to Module 10, Week 10, Module 10, I tried to keep them together. You're going to notice I literally put like 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to number 7, all the things that we are going to be doing or things that you've already done. So, first, we did that MLA formatting midterm, okay? And the idea was get your feet wet, get you comfortable. So that way you know how to put the research you're going to be doing into an order. All right. So that was number one. That was what we did in the midterm. Number two, you decided on a topic, one topic. That's all I want is one topic. Okay. I've had in the past some students get confused. Don't confuse yourself. You started with 5. I gave you an option for 3 so that your peers could help you. And now you have 1. Okay, so one topic is all you're doing your research on. I don't know how to make that any more simpler. So just one topic. All right. So once you've decided on that, and again, it's a humanitarian thing. No dinosaurs, y'all. I don't know what the dinosaur thing is this semester. Every semester, there's always something. Weeds, always one of them. Gun control's another. So I'm kind of sick of those topics. So I'm just going to say no. We're not doing those. Please, just give me something to read that is fun. All right, so far your topics all look amazing. Like, I can't tell you how excited I am to read what you come up with. Like, such a great semester. Anyway, so you got your one topic. Then you took that one topic and you did research on it last week. That's your source summary. Don't let words and stuff confuse you. All you're doing is summarizing sources for that one topic. And I keep putting a 1 here just so that you're not too confused on this, okay? So then you're doing a summary of different sources on this one topic. Those sources that you're finding, there was 3 of them, and you went to Butte College Library to go find them. All right, scholarly journals. And again, there's links, there's videos, there's a lot of different ways you can kind of find them. And I only want your source summary, those 3, to be scholarly journals through Butte College Library. And I've sent emails, I've sent announcements, I've done everything I can to tell you that's what I'm looking for. It's everywhere in your paper. So I grade source summaries pretty tough, and I've mentioned this. There's a reason why it's 105 points. You have 3 like massive, like, things worth of points: source summary, your research paper. These things kind of, they really add up. So, any whoosies. Alrighty. So you've done your midterm where you know how to cite your sources. You picked a topic. You actually put the research together in your source summary and you cited it correctly, right? Boom. Okay. So now that you've got some research, you got your topic, what are you going to do with it? You're going to write a paper. Right on. All right. So with that paper, you're going to do a rough draft. Don't panic. Don't freak out. This is not something that's going to be like, get it all done today. Like, that's impossible. You haven't even done the second half of your research. So with this one topic that you picked, you are going to write a rough draft, which is pretty much just an outline of where you want this to go, because you might not know. You might be overwhelmed. That's why I do it this way. You might be going, I don't know what to do. Well, based on that, there's that, again, a video and a walkthrough on how you can outline your paper. Just kind of get a rough idea of how you want to organize it. What do you want to do with this information? I want you to share this with your peers. So your rough draft is due on the 20th, okay? Again, 2 to 3 pages would be great. That's what I'm looking for. A sentence is not going to work. You can't just be like, help me, save me. That doesn't work. Like, how are they going to help you? So you have to give your peers something to work with. So give an outline, you can, when you research and when you write, it's not linear. It doesn't go in a straight line. It's here, it's there, it's here, it's there, because this is where your mind is going. You have these ideas, you don't know where to put it. So you just kind of put them down and say, I think this is what I want to do. An outline helps you organize it. An outline, and you can move around an outline all you want. It's not static. It's not stuck there. You can move the words. So, when you're doing your rough draft, it is just rough, and it's an idea that you're putting out there to your peers to say, please help me. I really don't know what to do. And based on what y'all did for the narrative, your peer reviews were fantastic. I imagine they'll be even like they'll be here because I see that you all are the experts and you know what you're talking about. In fact, some of your responses, I'm like, that's better than I would have thought of doing because you were involved. You had time to really go through and work with your team. Really, really, really great stuff. So, again, I want to see that again with your peers. You know, when you're responding to your peers, really just interact again like you did. And at the very bottom, I got to remember to give this as an announcement too, at the very bottom of your peer reviews, write a paragraph that summates what you saw and maybe information that you can give them so that your peers go, oh, okay, I get it. All right, so your rough draft is on one topic that you just did a source summary on, that you just did research on, okay? And so once you finish that rough draft, okay, it'll be due on the 20th. You're going to go through and you're going to read what your peers are doing, which is due on the 22nd. And you'll go, I see what they're doing, or I like it, or I don't like it. And you can kind of see where you want to go with this, okay? You've done research papers in the future, or I'm sorry, in the past. You will do them in the future. It is school. So now you're just trying to get your feet even more wet, more confident, okay? Once you have done your rough draft, now you're going to do source summary number 2. Now, source summary number 2, again, you're going to have 3 sources that you're going to be doing again, okay? But now this is going to be different sources, and you can reach out, okay, you can do YouTube. You could do TED Talks. Oh, I love TED Talks. You could do TED Talks. You can do things, you can do the History Channel if that pertains to what you're doing. Absolutely. But I want you to make sure that the research in source number 2, the 3 new sources that you find, you can absolutely do scholarly. If it makes you feel more comfortable, please do. But if you go outside of that, it needs to be legitimate sources. So don't do these extreme sides. I am getting tired of this extreme bullshit. I don't care what side, where it's going. I want you to hone in on true data, okay? Like really hone in on these things that I don't want extremist pages. I just don't. You know, I'm gonna put the kibosh on that right now. I want you to find true, legitimate data and research. And if you're not sure, go to your scholarly journals through Butte College, and you will be fine. All right, so keep that in mind. I just want us to get in the habit of finding the truth in things, not just listening to these extreme and things. And I make jokes about aliens and all that stuff. The reality is we really don't know. Things haven't been confirm, whatever. So I make these jokes, but now I kind of have to hone it in and go, all right, let's take aliens out of circulation here. And I had hoped to have a little bit more fun with it, but I'm gonna have to actually pull that aside and say we're not doing that, because where we're at in society, things are getting a little too extreme, and I'm finding it's making people a little squirrely. So let's hone in on something humanitarian that's going to be good for the world that you're doing research for. Okay, so there, done. All right, so once you've done your source summary number 2, you're done. You get to finish up your paper and you're done. The idea behind source summary number 2 is to fill in all those gaps from your rough draft paper. So you did your first research in source summary number 1. And then you did this rough draft to kind of put it in there and go, what do I do with this information? And you're like, all right, I'm going to do an outline. So you kind of outline it. You give it to your peers and go, help me, save me, help me, save me. And they go, well, we can only do so much, but here's some information for you. And then you take that and go, all right, they're telling me I'm missing some research. So I'm going to utilize this time with source summary number 2. I'm going to find 3 more sources. I'm going to put them together, and then I'm going to see how I can put that into my final paper. All right? That's the idea here. Again, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Okay? So I'm trying to give you all the little bites. And maybe it's easier for you to see the bigger picture, so I'm trying to show you the bigger picture too. All right? So all these little things are just trying to accumulate to the very end final research paper. Your final research paper, which is really nice, I give you 1,000 links to it. It's very, very easy. It's just a research paper, 5 to 6 pages, right? I want you to make sure that you go to, it's on your module, go to the thing that says research paper options and click on that. It pretty much tells you what I'm looking for. It's really, really easy. So no less than 5 to 6 double space page, spaces. Please don't just like extra space and do all this garbage to try and meet the curriculum. If you're doing that, then you didn't pick the right topic. Like if you're having a hard time writing and finding research, pick another topic. Like it seems easy. This is why I have to say no to dinosaurs and no to gun control and all these other things, because it doesn't give you enough to give you something worth researching. That's the truth of it. It's not just because I'm sick of reading them. That's a huge part of it, but it's also because I'm trying to give you opportunity to find something worth researching. That's deep, that's beautiful, that's humanitarian. Okay? Okay. All right. 5 to 6 pages, 5 to 6 sources. I would prefer 6 because in your source summary, 1, you had 3. In your source summary, 2, you had 3. What do you know? You got your 6 sources right there. All right. And they're validated by me because I'm like, yay. Or I'm like, okay. All right. So you got your 6 sources. I want it in correct MLA format. Majority of you have done this before. You could go to PurdueOwl.com and follow it. In fact, you know what's funny? Your source summary, the way I asked you to outline it and format it, that's MLA format. Boom. So all you have to do is set up your research paper the same way as your source summary, and it's formatted correctly. Ta-da! I do this for a reason, so you don't have to do extra stuff. You've already done it. Okay? There you go. So correct format. Make sure you cite it well. Maybe I'll give you a quick how-to on how to cite inside of your text, because sometimes students have issues with that. All right. And then make sure that it's well thought out, organized. It's a coherent discussion of the research that you've done on your topic, and you're done. You can throw in personal experience if it's relatable to what we're doing. If it's not, don't use it. But if you have personal experience, like, and then in my experience, based on the research and what I've been through, this is what I'm finding. Ta-da! Beautiful. You have 3 options you could do. If you've already done like a community service type of thing where you were out and about and it helped with your research, you could kind of do that, like a very journalistic thing. Some students do this, some students don't. It really depends on, well, it's COVID. I have no idea what we're allowed to do, not allowed to do when it comes to this, meeting and greeting. So if it didn't apply, it didn't apply. Maybe you made something. Maybe you made a video. Maybe you made a song. Maybe you made art. You can throw that in with your research paper. Ta-da! Or you could just do the classic research paper and turn it in, and that's fine. So you could do any of these 3 things. I see like a lot of you are just escalating on this new level, so I keep leveling up for you. All right, so you could do the classic paper totally. That's great. Some of us are like, I could escalate if I wanted to, but I ain't got time for that. So I'm just gonna give you the classic research paper. You can do that too. Okay, so the reality is everything is online. It should be really easy just to kind of maneuver through. You'll notice I give you your module first, which is pretty much the instructions, and then I give you the assignments. And I do that on purpose. I do that so that way you have what you need to do the things. Okay? So as long as you're reading those modules, it should be very, very helpful. And again, you gotta read everything. You have to watch everything, and you gotta click on everything. Like you might be like, why did she send me like 3 different links to this? Just to show you where it's at, just so you can get to it. However you need to get there is how I'm just trying to give you as much as I can. Okay, the modules tell you everything that's coming up. I give you all the how to do's, and as we move forward, you're gonna see next week, week 14, you're like, there's just a quiz. Yeah, there's just a quiz. So if you're following through and you're doing the quizzes on time for you, and it helps you to stay structured, go for it. All right. Maybe week 14 is when you start working on source summary number 2, and some more research. All right. Week 16 is our last week before the final paper is due. And again, it's just a quiz and it's just a quick discussion. So there's not a lot coming, but there's bigger things that are there. So it's just the quizzes are pretty easy. Again, they're not due until I think like the 7th of December, something like that. So maybe over Thanksgiving break, you just want to read through the book and answer the questions. Again, questions are there. You will always have them ahead of time so that you can answer them as you're reading. Make little notes, super easy. Pretty much, most students are like, dude, these are way, way too easy. I'm like, do you want them harder? And I don't want them to be harder. Okay, I just want you to be able to enjoy the book, but also look for the answers to understand why, what is the book saying? That's the ultimate point here. And if you notice, a lot of this entire class is actually kind of written, developed around the book, unintentionally, but also intentionally, so that we can kind of have an understanding of what it's like to be human in different human situations. Okay. So the very last discussion that we talk about is really understanding just everything together. Like the last thing that I ask is, what can you say about the book, the topics we've talked about, and just include the vocabulary so that you kind of have this understanding of when we use these words, what do they really mean? Okay. So again, the discussions are easy. You guys are doing great on those, or y'all are doing great on those. So thank you very much. Aside from that, that's pretty much it. So for week 15, I'll probably add a little bit more into it so that you can remember, how to do this, source summary and research and all that good stuff. So if you have any questions, go ahead and email me. You've been great. I can tell that you have been reading and going through. I can also tell when you haven't been. So please make sure you utilize everything that I'm putting online because it's very important. So thus far, keep going. We're almost done. We are almost done. I'm very excited. So thank you very much for all your hard work. I promise you it'll pay off, and in the very end, you can say you are a researcher and you read a book and you've considered humanitarianism. Yay! So, all right, y'all. I'll see you on the other side.